You know what it is? Planning's out of fear. Hot take? Is that a hot take?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast, where we talk about religion in a unconventional way. This is episode 10. Double digits.
10.
10.
A decade.
Well, it's been 10 days. Or
A decade means 10 no matter what.
no, deca means 10.
A decade on the rosary is 10 Hail Marys.
Okay. I'm Spencer.
I'm Vo.
And let's get started. Today we are talking about... Take it away, Vo.
Today we are super late.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter. They don't know that. They don't know
Maybe
that.
it's a different vibe.
It is. It's afternoon. It's not the morning. Who knows?
This is the PM, Croak and Crow.
Who knows what kind of antics will ensue? What is the PM topic?
I know what it is.
You just don't want to say it?
No, I do.
You forgot it.
I
didn't you?
I just remembered. Let me try that again. Planning. Plans.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Plans.
What made you choose
All of a sudden I heard our theme song.
What made you choose this topic?
I think my morning meditation was about the oft heard statement of, well, people say we make plans and God laughs, but it didn't say that, but it did say make all the plans you want. God is leading this path, whatever, your day.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking. I always hear it and I always agree to it, but then I thought it's kind of interesting because just like the cleaning, what would you never plan?
Yeah.
So I thought I'd bring that to the guy who read the Bible.
Yeah, planning. Never. So what you're saying is, should you not worry too much about planning?
Yeah, like, should I plan? Should I literally look for the breadcrumbs that the Holy Spirit leaves me and try to, or what do I do?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Because coming from me, I'm not a planner.
Okay.
I surround myself with planners, and so then I question this to myself. I like being spontaneous, but how much of my spontaneity is a little selfish, maybe? Where there's other people who are planning these things, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing this one day, and I'm hopping to this the next day, which is great for me, but where would anyone be without then the planners behind these certain things? I don't know.
Well, everybody has a strength, and so if that's their strength, and you're loving your neighbor,
yeah,
you're giving them something and they're giving you something, without actually talking about it. And there are people who love organizing, and that's
true.
their
It's
personality.
true. Yeah, a lot of my friends, they love organizing, and one of their favorite things about me is they know
you're agreeable.
Yeah, they know day of, they plan this thing, call Spencer, hey, this is going on, I'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am they are benefited by me being able to do that, but also they do love planning out a whole day.
Yeah, that's my sister.
Yeah.
If my sister goes on vacation, before she's ever left her house, she has it planned.
Yeah.
Every single thing. Not me. I sort of appreciate people like that, but I also am sort of sometimes annoyed by people like that, because it's hard to just constantly be on an itinerary,
Yeah, nothing's worse than that, when it's like you just kill the spontaneity, and it's like you feel like you're on a school sanctioned trip rather than an actual enjoyable time.
But I mean, as somebody who doesn't plan, I have arrived at places that were closed. I have,
well, it's I guess that's the way to put it. We non-planners get highs and lows, get a lot of nothing, and then a lot of peaks.
Yeah.
Planners, they like to maintain a steady 7 on the fun scale, where it's like they know for sure they will have a time. It won't be a bad time, it won't be a great time, but it'll be a time.
Okay, so God says, I have plans for you.
Yeah, I'm always caught on that. I'm always caught on the idea of destiny and predestined. And I'm always back and forth with it. Because I believe God gives us free will. I can go right now, run across the street and slap an old lady in the face. Don't think that was planned for me. So because God loves us, I think he gave us free will. And that's why bad things can happen. But it's also why great things can happen. I'm going to keep bringing up the giver. You know, we don't live in the giver where set things happened. But I guess I put it like this. And this is I don't think we have, you know, you can just put your hands up and say, well, Jesus take the wheel from the start of my life to the end. I don't need to plan anything. It'll all work out. I think what us as human beings are given is not a plan, but a path. And, you know, you can stray off the path.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can go further and further from your path. But there is a path.
Yeah.
That is sort of what you and your life experience is meant to be. Right. And, so I think that's the way I like to think of it more. And, but also, you know, I think I think with it being as a path, sort of goes to why it was, I don't even know where in the Bible it's talked about what you were saying of the, don't worry about a plan. But
it says in a few places, it doesn't say don't worry about a plan, but it says just know, well, kind of like, you know, not the day nor the hour, right? Yeah. You can make a plan, but don't put all your eggs in the basket that that it's going to happen. Yeah, so that's what God has the final word.
Yeah, exactly. So that's sort of what I'm thinking about this, where like when you think of it as like a strict plan, things aren't going to always go perfect. You're going to be pushed off of things, and if you think of it as a path more, it's fine. If you know you go the wrong way, you make a few wrong turns. If eventually, you know, think of it as going on a hike. You ever see a hiking map and you have all these different ways? Some are really hard. Yeah, right. Some are short and easy. The choices, yeah. You're going to end up on that overlook at the end. Yeah. If you sort of just keep pushing. So if you were in a plan and, you know, there was a tree in front of one of the paths, you're like, oh, it's ruined. Yeah. Well, I can't get to the top. It's like, find another path, man.
Yeah. I feel like the path that God can see for us that is the most beneficial and you're going to get the most joy and peace out of it is a, you know, brightly lit path. And but he won't stop you from making a hard right and walking in a dark thorn bush. Yeah. If you want, and then he always hopes, you know. Yeah. If you want to come back and like the prodigal son, when you do come back, you're going to be celebrated. It won't be like, well, that was so rude and ungrateful of you to leave the path, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, that's the whole point. Like the whole point of life is you start out in the head of the trail, and you end up at that overlook. No one at the top of Everest is laughing at or is telling someone, you went what way? Right. That's a joke. Like, you know how much more work you did? It's like, both of you are at the top of Everest. Right. You conquered it. You know, like, yeah, you had some stumble blocks. You might have tripped and fell, but the goal shouldn't be so much the path, right? Like no one gets excited being on a snowy mountain on the side of Everest. It's when you get to the top. Right.
It's all about the climb? No, it's all about the destination.
We'll
have to ask Miley what she was thinking.
Well, no, but I always say that. It's not about the destination, it's all about the journey. Well, which, once again, I think it goes to planning. I think planning is too focused on exacts. Like, so the times I find most I'm saying it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, is when people are complaining of like, can we just get to the end of this already? And it's like, when you live your life like that, like, so skipping ahead.
Yeah.
It's like, enjoy whatever time, even if it's a tough time, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, the one thing, a big problem people have is with this, when I get this, I'll be happy. When I get this, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Your life is wasted.
Yeah.
And guess what? Chances are, if you have that mentality, and you say, when I get this house, I'll be happy. When I get this car, I'll be happy. This whole time, you're not working on becoming happy day to day. And so then you get that car, you get that house, you get that wife, and then you're looking and you're like, why am I still not happy? And you know what? I think it's why you see a lot of depression in celebrities.
Yeah.
And you see them fall victim to drug use and suicide.
Yeah.
It's because those people reach the top of that chase, and they get to the top and they're like looking around like, wait a second, I have everything now.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, there's something nice and comforting about struggling, right? It's you struggle day to day and you're like all angry driving home down the highway after another 12-hour day of work, and you're like, this sucks, but just wait, I'm gonna win the lottery, and then it'll all change. And those people will never be happy with money or not. You find the happiest people.
And God tells you to find joy everywhere, and to thank him even in tribulation. Thank him that you're stuck in the traffic jam. Thank him that at that job you might have been an example to somebody. Like, it's not up to you to judge this is bad, or I mean, your brother, he always loved dark rainy days. Gray rainy days. And he always didn't like when people would say, terrible day, huh? Bad day, huh? And he would say, why is the sunny day the only day that someone would say this is a sunny, he loved rainy days. So
it's very true. And a truly happy person is happy no matter the circumstance.
That's right. That's where you want to get.
Yeah, you want to, and then,
not like maniacally nuts.
No.
Like,
oh yeah, no, like,
but we don't have to worry about extremes.
Oh my god. My car just got broken into? My job just fired me? No. But no, just like, it's just being happy with yourself. Like, like, and
in a reasonable.
But like, and I'm not saying, like, okay, just for example, if you drive an old beater car, I am not saying you should say, this is the best car ever.
Right.
I don't even look at other cars. That's not what I'm saying at all. But you should be happy with, like, just like on a small, you can say, oh, that Lamborghini is so nice, but you don't be like, you look at a Lamborghini and you look back at your car and you're like, I hate this car. Just wait.
You end up hating everything. You end up hating your car, then you end up hating the Lamborghini owner.
Yeah. What does he have that I don't?
What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
And if you look at things as a punishment, it's
it's funny, and what a lot of the times it seems like is, then you get these people that can be like that, become truly happy, and guess what? They end up being the successful ones when they wouldn't even be upset if they weren't, right? Like, it's sort of that mentality. And my favorite story in the Bible, I have a lot of favorite stories.
One of.
This is sort of going off track, but it's when Solomon, God loved David. He was the GOAT. And then Solomon was, next in line. And God said, he asked him, he said, what do you want? What do you want? I'll give it to you. And Solomon's like, and so assuming that, he would say, I want riches, I want fame, I want money. And Solomon's like, no, all I want is wisdom. And you just want wisdom? And so then God gave him the wisdom that he asked for, but he was so, like, happy about that answer that it says, give him wisdom, and then he also gave him the riches and the fame and the money. And I'm not saying if you just search on happiness, you'll get riches and money, but it just goes to show, like, his values were in the right place, and and then the rest came, and he truly didn't worry. Like, he worried about what is important. It's like, you shouldn't be wishing for things like, a yacht and stuff. You should, because that's earthly, and it's earthly, and it's hard to obtain. Like, that's all about circumstance and stuff. Like,
and you should question yourself. Why do you want it?
Yeah.
Do you love the water so much?
Yeah.
Or have you put yacht owners on a pedestal?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to belong to people who other people respect? Like, try to look beyond that first thing that you say, like, oh, I'd love to have that. And it's like, would you really love to have that?
Yeah. You're like, oh, you want a yacht? It's like, do you have like a little skipper right now that you go out on? Like,
right.
Every night?
Is it an upgrade, or is it completely something that's never been?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's sort of silly because, like I said, people all think they're different, and so a lot of times people say, no, but if I had money, I'd be happy.
Right.
Those celebrities that are depressed, they're just doing, like, they didn't appreciate what they have. But guess what? Let me just finish this.
No, that's fine.
You should not be striving for money, because how many people with money are depressed, are, get into drugs and get into suicide? I'm not saying all, but I'm just saying money is not the end all. What you should be striving for is happiness.
That's right.
You strive for happiness. Show me one happy person who like someone truly happy who killed themselves. Like show me one truly happy person who had what are you striving for fame for?
Yeah.
For I don't want to be going to work every day. A truly happy person doesn't feel like their work. Like,
right.
They live they're not waiting for retirement like you are.
Mm-hmm.
They're even if they have a sucky job, they're with people they love, they make like the most out of it. Nothing that, like, yeah, so people, I don't understand why people are shooting for things to make them happy.
Well, that's what I was going to interject with.
Okay.
That fill in the blank, like, take out money and fill in the blank.
Yeah.
I'll be so happy when I'm married.
Yeah.
I'll be so happy when I live at a certain place, or I'll be so happy when I'm a certain weight. Mm-hmm. Because, I always thought that when people would say about having children, and they would say, I don't want my child to be an only child because I want them to have siblings, or I want to have another son because he needs a playmate. And it's like, talk about planning. You're planning something that may never come true. There are people who have 5 kids and none of them are friends. Like, and there's an only child who has great cousins or whatever. Like, so when the planning goes so far in the future.
Yeah, I have something. Let's reel it back to planning. Yeah,
planning.
I find that a lot. So I tell people, I'm 24. A lot of people around me, it's kind of like, oh, I can't wait to get married. I can't wait to have kids. And then I say, I don't want to get married or have kids. And they think it's because I hate women or I hate kids. I hate to me, when I hear someone say, I can't wait to get married, it's the equivalent of someone saying, oh, I want a tattoo. And then I'm like, oh, what are you going to get? Oh, I don't know yet. It's like,
it's not, yeah.
You know what happens in those circumstances? I'll tell you what happens. You get a wait, I can bleep now. You get a tattoo. And so what's different about when you're pushing too much for, I can't wait to get married, I can't wait to get married. The first person who treats you half decent, you're like, put a ring on it.
Yeah, they're so far ahead of themselves.
And so then you plan your life out first. You know what? I don't like planning. you plan.
We need paddles, because I was thinking that the other day, like if we were talking about cleanliness, we were on the same page, whatever, and I was like, okay, so it was both a yes.
Agree. Agree and disagree.
And right now you'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Paddles.
No, I don't like planning, because you know what happens with planning? I'm going to tell you what happens with planning. With planning, you plan out your entire life, and then you fit in circumstances to match that. And you got a square hole, and you only got a circle block, and you're jamming that circle block in because you're like, my life's planned. Now I need to find out how my circumstances can work around it.
Right.
You say, I'm going to get married. I'm going to get married. You end up marrying, that's a square block, and you only have a circle. Boom, that's going to happen.
Right.
It's, I'm going to live in a nice house. I'm going to live in a nice house. Your house, your means are this much, and the house you're buying is this much, and you're trying to jam that circle in, and then you're financially upset.
Right.
You're like, I'm going to have 3 kids. And then, you know, like, once again, you're paycheck to paycheck. Now your husband ditched. He bounced because he didn't fit the scheme. So now you're living in a house you can't afford. You're working 3 jobs to help your kids, who then they don't have their mother at home all the time. They end up, you know, getting into a little bit of trouble. And then you're in this life. You know why? Because you planned. I'm going to tell you what you should do. You should not... Because you know what? I'm going to tell you what. The problem with planning is it sounds good. Like, oh, you should have a plan.
Right. Everyone tells you to plan. Yeah. I mean, when you're in school, you literally have a planner. Yeah. You have to plan, you know. And
I'm going to tell you, it's all hoopla. Because people attribute not planning to, like, laziness.
Right.
So it's like, oh, you don't have a plan? You don't have a career path? You know, it's like, no. You know what I have?
Trust in God.
I have trust in God and trust in my work ethic. Like, you can call me a lot of things. You can't call me lazy. Like, do I have a career path like someone who planned? And there's people my age with houses and cars. No, I don't. But I have a trust in God. I have a work ethic.
You'd rather He led you.
I'd rather He led me. And opportunities present themselves through God. And I jump on them. And you know why? It's because I didn't sort of force my hand, like, oh, God, I can't wait for you. I need to...
Exactly.
Everyone around me is getting jobs.
Because you know better.
Yeah, everyone's getting around me getting a job. I'm just going to go jump in this. And then I'm miserable at a job because I jumped on it out of fear. You know what it is? Planning's out of fear. Hot take? Is that a hot take?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
People, I know, I need to get married, and as they get older, it gets worse. You know why? They start feeling they won't find someone.
I know. They panic.
So,
yeah.
Kids are a big fear, especially for women, you know, like...
Absolutely.
They're like, I need to have a kid now.
What would my life be? Yeah.
Yeah, you start like having morality issues of like, that's the whole point of life. Just, what
degree, you know, travel,
financial stability is fear that like, what if I can't afford to live? And it's all fear. And so with true trust in the Lord, you don't need to plan as much. Now, like, once again...
Because people do extremes. Yeah. Like, you know, obviously you would plan a route as you're driving, you know what I mean? So you don't take the longest route, but like...
Yeah, and then...
You're talking about thinking that you're in control of... Talk about decades ahead because of these things you're doing right now. Yeah. Look at all the people that, you know, went bankrupt from Bernie Madoff. You know what I'm saying? Like, they thought they were done. They thought they had their nest egg. They thought this was going to be it. Yeah. And they would, you know, things happen.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? I think it goes back to that free will, right? We have free will, and so that is a lot. Would it be easier? I'm not saying it would be better. It would be easier to live in a giver society where you're given your career, you're doing all this. But we have free will, and that is both rewarding but also a little scary. And so people jump on, like, it's like that story where I always refer back to it because it's a common fear. I have the fear, and so in this story, it's like a magic mall by a genie, and this guy goes in, this woman goes in to find she's like, you get a husband. You're buying a husband. It sounds weird just for the story, and so she goes on the first floor, and there's 4 floors. First floor, there's an average looking guy. He kind of smells weird. He has dirty clothes. Oh, so the rule of the purchasing is, you can either pick the guy or go to the next floor, but you can't go back down once you've gone up.
Oh, you can't double back on your decision. Uh-huh.
So she goes to the next floor, and this guy's still average looking, but he has really good hygiene, and he has good clothes. And she's like, he's still okay looking. Take me to the next floor, Chief. Goes to the next floor, and this guy is good looking, but he doesn't really have a personality. He's kind of stale. Wait, what floor am I on?
I don't know.
I only have one more floor to go.
But I get it.
This guy's perfect in every way, shape, and form. And she's like, whoa, let me go to the 4th floor. And she goes to the 4th floor, and there's nothing there.
Why'd she leave him?
Because she
thought it was getting better and better.
Well, the next guy must be like the perfect man.
She thought it was getting better.
And so, but all right. So to get back, that sort of goes with that free will of she had the choice to and then you always looking, and it's like, so people get fearful, and then first floor, second floor, they're taking the bag.
Oh, yeah.
They're taking the bag and running. But that's why I don't think you should look at it as planning. You shouldn't plan your life, but you should trust in a path.
Mm-hmm.
You should believe in a path. I'm not saying don't get a career, don't get a job, don't date people looking for marriage, but treat it as a soft path and not a hard plan. Yeah. Right? Like it's literally just like tattoos. I'm not standing here saying don't get tattoos. Tattoos are bad. Tattoos are bad. I'm saying, is it the best idea to want a tattoo before you know what you want? Right. Same thing with life. Is it a good idea to plan your life out before, I just say, oh, I don't think I'm getting married. So I say to people, when that thought is going to change? When I meet someone that I'm like, I need to marry this person. Right. Not, I know I'm getting married and this person fits the scheme. It's going to be, I'm not getting married, and then someone's going to come along and change my mind.
Change your mind, right. Yeah, in a lot of cultures and religions, people always say, when they mention a plan, they say right after it, God willing. Yeah. In Trinidad, they would say, God spare life. Meaning, I might be dead. Like, I'll see you tomorrow, God spare life. Meaning, he could take me. Yeah. Always keeping that in mind. I think even inshallah means something like that. Like, if Allah allows it. Yeah. So they make tentative. Mm-hmm. The plans are always tentative, knowing that. Yeah.
And I think that's how it should be. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like I might have came out a little cross, like, don't have a plan. You can want to get married.
No, because, like, there's always, we're not being extreme. That's crazy. Yeah,
but, like, it should always be, I feel like that's
you need an escape plan if, like, the building was on fire.
Yeah, I just feel like that's why I like the word path better. Mm-hmm. This path says many different ways to get to the top and stuff, but plan is so concrete. So you can like look forward to a lot of good things happening in your life, but don't get so fixated on this is my life plan. I need to hit all these check boxes. Right. It's like live every day, live right now. Yeah. If you're single, don't be saying, oh, when I get married, I'll be happy. It's like because guess what? I guarantee your marriage is going to be better if you are the happiest you've ever been going into it. You know what else I don't like? While we're on the topic of marriages, and I think you talked about this too. My other half, when someone says that, you complete me. Yeah. I don't like that. You're like, oh, like this is my other half. You complete me. It's once again, it's without you, I'm not whole. Right. The best relationships, the best marriages, is when you have two fully happy people who would be fully happy on their own. Like, the people we were talking about, the poor, rich. Right. And when they are together, it's a combo. Right. You can't be looking for your lacks in someone else. No. You shouldn't.
Yeah, it's a great compliment. It complements you, and it's a great. You both work so well together, and you both are helping each other, and fortifying each other. But if you're looking for a completion, when God, some say a jealous God, has already completed you, and then you're like, I think I'm going to look for another human to complete me.
Yeah, and then that person, leaves you, and then you're like, I'm empty inside. It's like, what? You're empty.
But even if they stay with you, first of all, nobody can stay together forever, right? So if you were married for 75 years, unfortunately, one of you is going to die. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All this kind of stuff. Like, the most important relationship is with God, and then if you find other people, including a spouse, but not necessarily, who also have that wonderful relationship, you all come together, and it's just. You just glow brighter and brighter and brighter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it should be. It should be. Yeah, I think I said it before, where I said it was about the cleaning podcast. I said best thing about cleaning is, I think, when you have a fully clean room, you'll clean your whole house. When you have a fully clean house, you'll go do things the yard, the yard, then the community, even, and it just keeps on spreading. And I think it's the same in that aspect. Right? Like. A person who is truly complete in themselves, then when they meet someone else, that is just, it's not completing them in any way. They're full. They are a complete person.
And what a gift you would give to somebody.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just, now you're just surrounding yourself with others, and you're spreading that like love and affection. And it's like, it's like literally your cup runneth over. It's not like, oh, my cup's half full and your cup's half full. If we just both share one cup. No.
Right.
It should be my cup runneth over. I'm filling all the cups around me.
Right. Because what are you saying about God if he made a half person?
Yeah.
You know?
I think one of the Greek mythologies believe that.
That he made a half person?
No, well, not like, there's I believe it's Greek mythology, or it might actually be before that, Hinduism, I don't know, where man and woman used to be one.
Okay, oh.
And they had 4 arms and 4 legs and 2 heads maybe. And I don't know, something happened, someone else like cursed them, and they split apart. And then for the rest of eternity, they're always longing to get back to each other. And that's the human story.
So, you're somebody, you admit it. I feel like now we're on, you know, when you're being, interrogated. You've admitted that you don't like planning.
Yeah.
How do you feel about planning to pray? Do you, go ahead. You know what I'm trying to say.
I don't, but.
You don't?
Well, you're saying like.
Planning to pray, like, I'm going to pray every day.
Well, yeah.
From 8 to 4. 8 to 4?
Either I'm doing something wrong or you're doing something
wrong. No.
Here's, once again, back to it sucks because planning's always sort of attributed to someone who's a go-getter.
Yeah.
And which isn't true. I might be the biggest person in the entire world. No, it's kidding. But I'm huge on routine.
You like routine.
So I'm a structured individual. I'm not, leaf in the wind. Like take me where I want to go. Discipline and routine is what keeps me sane and not turning crazy. Like I like to ideally I like to wake up at the same time. I like to be going to the gym at the same time, eating at the same time. All these things. And that just helps me. It helps me stay focused. It helps me do all these things. And I think it's very different of routine and planning, you know?
Okay.
Because planning sort of shapes your future, but as far as a day-to-day, I think routine is good. And it's all, I mean, it's not I like it because it helps me, but I'm not pushing it on other people.
And you're not crazy about it. Like today, our podcast was...
That was because I was extenuating circumstances.
No, what I'm saying, it didn't drive you nuts.
No,
you just picked up right.
No, yeah. I that's more just to curb any like laziness and stuff. Like and that's the other thing with planning, right? Like why I think routine's different. Routine is like this is your day-to-day habits, and it's okay to change. Where planning, you put so much pressure on it. And so it's like if this doesn't happen, then my plans went wrong. My plans were ruined, is what you say. Yeah. When something doesn't work out. With routine, you don't go to the gym one more, my routine's ruined. Yeah. No, your routine starts again tomorrow. So I think there's that difference, but.
Do you feel, I do feel this way. Do you? If I plan on going, say, a certain way on the car, and something happens where I am forced to go a different way, I always feel that was meant to be. But that was just with the car. But with anything, I was going to do that, and it didn't turn out. I never think of it, negatively, if I had went that way, I would have seen a celebrity. I think of it the other way, I'm glad that plan changed, because I bet this is the better way.
I guess I'm working on that. I get frustrated when things in the moment, right? I'm not worried about plans in the future, but on a day-to-day thing, I think it sort of goes back to the routine, where it just makes sense to me. Like this, I'm doing this, and so once I get thrown off of a routine, I'm like.
Do you think the devil ever interferes with your plans?
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
Does he know your plans in advance, or does he just see you doing stuff and then decide to throw a wrench at you?
That's a good one. I think he sees it. You know, I think on a spiritual sense.
Yeah, they're really powerful, and we're really transparent.
Yeah, I think I think someone who's say enlightened a little bit on a spiritual journey.
He was an angel.
Yeah, you sort of have an aura about you.
Yeah.
And then it's I want to put a lampshade over that light.
Yeah.
A shade over that light, like cover that up. But when the devil comes,
that was on my morning meditation as well. It said, just resist the devil in my name, and he will be gone from you.
Yeah, that's what I always say. I say, as long as you believe in God, there's nothing to fear about the devil. Unless you
the devil's in the details.
The devil's in the details.
That's a saying.
Yeah, it's a saying. Yeah, so but yeah,
God is the great planner.
God is the great planner.
Who can see better than he of the best route for us? You say route or route?
I say route.
I guess I say route because I just said it.
Yeah, so I think people just need to stop stressing so much.
Stop stressing because you want to have peace.
Yeah. And
you pray for peace and you say, please, God, give me peace in my life. But then you're throwing stuff out there that exactly. is making it not peaceful.
Yeah.
Help him help you.
Yeah. Yeah. You pray for peace.
Yeah.
And then you start planning your whole future and then not understand why you don't have peace. You know, mm-hmm. If you pray to wake up tomorrow, your prayers will be answered and you'll be happy. If I pray and say I want $1 million, I want to wake up to $1 million tomorrow, I'm going to wake up disappointed and then I'm going to have a bad day. So just these are the things that you should strive for.
Okay.
Peace.
We need a pop-up.
Peace. Wisdom. I forgot the third one.
We'll have to redo it.
Okay. These are the three things that you should be praying for. Peace, happiness, and wisdom.
There you go.
When you have those two things,
PHW.
Let me tell you, you are richer than any man with a yacht.
PHI. Too bad you don't have a W on your hat.
Wait, what was my 3 words? Peace.
Happiness and wisdom.
Happiness, intelligence.
But wisdom's better than intelligence.
Yeah, it's 2 different things.
Yeah, who cares?
Whatever. I'll just change. I'll get a new hat.
Yeah, get a new hat. No, we can just add to it.
Oh yeah, just throw. Yeah. So peace, happiness, and wisdom. If you have those 3 things, you're set.
Yeah.
And you don't need a plan because no matter what life throws you at that point, you can tackle it.
And that's the only tool that you need is to be able that everything that comes to you, you can digest it and send it back out.
Can again, amen. All right, y'all. By the time you're watching this, we probably have a new president in America. We don't know it yet, but so this is the last time you'll see us.
We won't plan for any outcome. We will just deal with it.
Yeah, it's not about it's not what? All paths lead to Rome. All right, y'all. We'll be back talking about something really cool. I promise you.
Something else.
Some I guarantee you can plan on the fact that we'll be talking about something else. Peace.